You know, among the many things I tried and failed at in my life, one of them was my Doctor of Ministry degree. I basically was in the program for 10 years and wrote three 150-page papers. Typed them myself, and they were all rejected. And so, there are no victims, only volunteers. I screwed it up, but I was able to get another master's out of that. So I have three masters in theology now. It's enough to be dangerous. At any rate, basically my thesis was on the use of stories or narratives in basically teaching theology to adolescents. And it's funny how God works. It's exactly what I'm doing here at Canterbury. And so that degree really helped me, even though I fell short. And again, my fault. All right, so, in the gospel today, the disciples asked Jesus, why do you teach in parables? And he says, because he quotes the prophet Isaiah saying, uh, they have eyes and they do not see, they have ears and do not hear. He said, the wise and the learned just aren't getting it. And the simple people who are open to God, um, they'll understand a story. Now, the reason I tell stories is that's the only way I know how to do it. I can't lecture. I can't read. Have you ever seen me try to read in public? It's embarrassing. I can't, and plus, I'm so ADD, I can't focus for a minute anyway. But I can tell a story at any rate, so that's all I can do. But at any rate, when I was at Sacred Heart Academy, I used to tell stories to the girls, and then I'd ask them to tell their stories. And one day in class, this little girl named Bernadette stood up. I used to ask the kids to stand up. She said, every summer I go to my family's house in Ireland, and it was incredible at Sacred Heart how many kids spent their summers in Ireland and how many Irish step dancers there were there. So Bernadette said, I was at the breakfast table and this little furry thing hopped um, in the kitchen and it was hairy and had long fangs. So she said, I screamed and I screamed for my grandmother to come down. And she said she climbed up on the counter in the kitchen, but there were no support beams underneath the counter. So she felt like it was going to collapse. So she screams for her grandmother. The grandmother comes down and basically beats the thing to death with a newspaper. And I said, so, this is early in the morning? She said, yeah. I said, where was your grandfather? She said, oh, he was at the pub, but he doesn't drink. At any rate, where are we? After Bernadette told that story, she was a rock star. Like before that, she was kind of like a loner and didn't have a. After that, the girls absolutely loved her because she told a good story. So today, when we reflect on the ministry of Jesus, let's try to imitate what he did. He told stories so that people could understand, kind of incorporate their own lives in his stories, and let's try to do the same thing. God bless you.